So Kyle, something I saw recently is, and I've brought it up on a couple, we're tenting our fingers now, a couple recent PKAs that 1 month ago you said, and I told you, I said, I bet you that the total deaths in the U.S. is above 30,000 1 month from now. We never actually bet anything, so I don't win anything, but the U.S. death total right now is a little under 35,000. So
the over under was set well.
I'd like to claim that victory. You know, I'm an intellectual, so I saw this coming, you know, a little bit more than the rest of you.
I was like amongst the first people to see the pandemic.
And I need vindication, obviously, for my correct one of my few correct predictions. So yeah, it's over 30, almost 35,000 dead. Not chill.
You predicted that a month ago?
Yeah, there were like 45 deaths, and I was like, Kyle, I fucking bet you a month from now there will be over 30,000, and Kyle took it greedily.
My Facebook friends,
we didn't actually bet anything, so it doesn't mean anything.
My Facebook friends are saying that they're taking regular deaths and reclassifying them as COVID deaths.
Your Facebook friends are fucking retards.
No, there was a doctor that called in or emailed my show saying that they're explicitly instructed to do that. He's working. I'm not saying that, like, I don't really care about how much the numbers are inflated.
Vindication rescinded.
No, I looked into it. I looked into the actual report, and I think it might just be Michigan, but I'm not sure about that. Here's what they said. They said, look, if you think it's corona and it has all the symptoms of corona, but they didn't actually test for corona, then you have the option to classify it as corona. You know, that's what they came down. And then everyone reads it as like car accidents are getting written off as corona or something insane like that. When the reality is we just don't have enough tests. So they're trying to get more accurate numbers, and they're saying
and people will be like, well, oh, this person died from pneumonia, not the coronavirus. And it's like, fucking retard. Do you not realize that the reason that they got and contracted pneumonia in the first place is because they had corona and their immune system is weakened? Like,
yeah.
Obviously. So, like, it's the same way that when people with AIDS die, it's like, oh, they died of pneumonia. It's like, no, they died of AIDS, really, because that's what enabled that to wreak havoc on their system.
Well, how many inflated numbers do you think there are then? Because both of you are saying, I think both of you are, I agree with both of you, but what does that result in? What percentage of deaths do you think are fudged?
I think none are fudged, and they're all doctors' best efforts, right?
Which are doctors will put in shit upside down and chop off the wrong limb. So I'm going to give that a fucking C- for doctors' best effort.
Right. So I can get on the same page with, are doctors ever wrong? Yeah, of course, we're all wrong sometimes. I don't think they're lying and under some conspiracy to make corona seem bigger than otherwise would be. They could be wrong without lying.
I mean, I could definitely see the government using any sort of crisis to overextend their reach. That's fair. And I think that's what Dick is mostly concerned with, is the government saying, hey, we have this kind of emergency situation. And if you look in the past, emergency situations are kind of when the federal government seizes powers that they shouldn't otherwise be able to. And so I understand that concern.
You're right about that. Although somehow that's not the one that hits home the hardest with me. To me is the one about like fucking with the money. Like they're going to find some way to give more money to rich people. They already, there was a tax cut that they couldn't get in, the Trump tax cut, like in his first year, that they slipped into this most recent one. And it has to do with like the amount of pass-through losses you can take. It used to be you can only take like $250,000 of losses in businesses you're not active in. And they just removed that limit. I think I'm about 90% right on that.
Here's one that you'll like then.
Well, I don't care for that.
If you care about the rich people making the money, you know all the PPP loans that went out, like they were giving out 2.5 months salary capped at $100,000 for small business loans.
Okay.
You guys knew. Okay, so that was part of the bailout was $1,200 Trump bucks for everybody, and they started a payroll protection program, which is the SBA administration at your local bank can give you a loan, and 2.5 times the salary of every employee you have, up to 500, will be forgiven if you can prove that you kept paying them during this time.
Okay.
They gave that to the banks, and the banks said, whoa, we need so much time to figure out how to give this money. I got a message from my bank the next day saying we're only going to start giving this out to the people who have existing loans with us. So if you have a business account with us, fuck you. If you have a loan with us, that you might not be able to pay back, then we're going to give you this grant-free loan that you can use to pay the debt you already have with us. What do you know? A week later, they ran out of money.
I mean, you accusing banks of this is a little anti-Semitic. I don't care for it.
That's a good take. I like it. He didn't say anything about Jewish people.
I know, that's the joke.
I know. Like, it wasn't even close.
No, not even fucking close.
Yeah. And the way you talked about not repaying loans is really against black people.
Yeah, it's really not okay.
Jesus,
what are you
Dick.
talking about?
Gotta keep our shit in order. Got to keep our house in order.
I'm sorry, Dick. What did you say? I didn't hear.
I said we're talking about small business owners, Woody, not talking about people who took out a loan to ride their whip.
Jesus Christ.
Or with cool ass rims, maybe.